We want now to act on the overall presentation of the HTML page, so we will use an internal style sheet, that is to say, a style sheet which will be associated to our page. The advantage of this technique is that we can modify the content of this style sheet so that these changes have an immediate effect on the entire page. The disadvantage is that our style sheet should be copied and pasted on all the pages of our site. So this will require us to modify each of these style sheets according, for example, to a new color for the entire website. There is another technique that consists to outsource the style sheet. The big advantage of this technique is that once the style sheet is modified, it acts immediately on all the pages of our site. So we will see this method in the next video. But now, to create this internal style sheet in our HTML page, so I will press in the property window the page properties key here, and in the category aspect CSS, so we'll choose, instead of the default font, a font like Verdana, Geneva, and sans serif. These are sans serif fonts, that is to say, fonts that don't have serifs. So if you look closely under the letter N here, so you can notice a small dash here, This little dash is called a serif. These serifs are very useful in the case of reading a paper page, as they guide the reader's eye. On the other hand, in the case of reading on screen, these serifs are very difficult to sustain when you read a long text. Then it's advisable to use for all your web pages sans serif fonts. So when I click on Apply here, you can see that all the serifs disappeared. I will now choose a size for the text. For instance, a size of maybe 12 pixels, and then apply. It's maybe a little small, and so I will choose another size for the text, rather here 13 pixels, and apply. So my text is a little bigger, and I can choose now in the same time a text color. So we'll choose, for instance, this color, then we will choose a background color thanks to this box that appeared. For instance, this Okay, and I can, thanks to this icon here, so I can modify the highlighting. For instance, here, then I click on OK, and then apply. In the same way, you can add a background picture and saying if this picture must be repeated. Here, background picture, repetition can be repeated horizontally or vertically. The repetition is to duplicate my background picture until it fills the window of the browser. So we can adjust the margin. Here I choose for the left margin 50 pixels, for the top margin 20, for the right margin 50, and for the bottom margin 20 pixels. Then I press OK, and I can see directly the effects on of my choices in my page. So, if I press the code key, I will see over the body tag here a new tag named style. This style tag contains the total description of the modifications I've made. For example, here we said that the body of the page must be at the font level, either Verdana, Geneva, or sans serif. If the font Verdana doesn't exist on the user's computer, we must use the font Geneva, and if it doesn't exist, it's a sans serif font that will be used. So, the size of the text is 13 pixels, and its color here is COO. So for the body of our page, we must have this color text, this color code, and the different margins. So you can see that the body has not been modified. The body tag here has not been modified. The advantage is that we can only act on this part to modify all the layout of the page. For example, if we change the background color here in FF, CC, and OO, and if we press the creation key, we have a background color which is yellow instead of gray. So in this section we have seen how to create an internal style sheet using Dreamweaver.